The 2015 KCB Kenya National Rally Championship returns to the capital city of Nairobi for round 6, the KCB Machakos Rally. The Rallye Sports Club, the youngest of the 8 motorsports clubs in the country, hosted the event. Formed in 2003, the Rallye Sports Club, known for the rotational nature of their events around the country, chose the County of Machakos as a new venue to host the championship battle. The stages were expected to be very fast and smooth and would include a power stage with prize money up for grabs for the fastest time on this section. The crews arrived at the Shell fuel station, a co-sponsor of the race in the heart of Machakos town, for scrutineering. There was no parc fermé after the 48 cars had gone through the check, allowing the crews to take their cars and park them within reach. The competitors lined up early Saturday morning for the 7:15 AM send-off at the KCB Machakos branch, one of the sponsors' leading branches countrywide. The Honourable Governor of Machakos County, Dr. Alfred Mutua, a keen motorsports fan, was on hand to flag off the cars, starting with Quentin Mitchell, who was on the road sweeping duty for the 6th round. The cars moved to the Machakos People's Park in Machakos town. The 10-kilometer stage was new and longer on this edition than the rest of the events. The route then headed south of the county for 4 more stages. The second stage was the 21-kilometer Machakos to Mumandu stage, which passes through the Konsa Ranch. The competitors then headed for the shortest stage of the rally, the 9-kilometer Katumani to Marks Junction stage. The Kapiti playing Konsa stage followed. This stage passes near the Lisa Ranch, part of which was used during this year's KCB Safari Rally. The 35-kilometer stage was the longest of the rally. After another fuel stop, the competitors headed to the very new 10-kilometer Katome to Kirima stage before reaching the service park for a much-needed 20-minute service. The cars would then return for the second loop of the same 5 stages. 10 stages of exactly 172 kilometers was the ultimate test for the 48 competitors. 50% of the stages are on closed roads and on private land, not to mention valuable championship points were up for grabs. Tapio Laukanen and Pasi Torma began the first stage the same way they had left the KCB Eldoret Rally. The Subaru Impreza driver topped the times in the 10-kilometer People's Park and was the fastest on this stage. Carl Tunda had adapted to the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 10, lent to him by Tejveer Rai. Like a duck to water, he was second fastest, 13 seconds behind Laukanen. Ian Duncan completed the top 3, 14 seconds off the leader Laukanen. Championship leader Jasprit Chatty was 4th fastest on the stage, 3 seconds behind Duncan. Defending champion Baldev Chagga recorded the 5th fastest time, 2 seconds behind Chatty. Uganda's Jas Manga came in 6th position, 3 seconds separated him from Chagga. Quentin Mitchell's Skoda Fabia recorded the 7th fastest time on this stage. Karun Patel started off well, recording the 8th fastest time, 16 seconds behind leader Laukkanen. Rajbir Rai, navigated by Tim Challen, drove the powerful Ford Fiesta R5 to record the 9th fastest time, 3 seconds behind Patel. Onkar Rai and Raji Barrage tied for 10th spot, 2 seconds behind Rajbir. Pavik Kent was unfortunate to retire first in this rally. Kent, navigated by former national co-driver champion Rajesh Semi, approached the corner at high speed and lost control, hitting a bank and rolled. Luckily, the crew was uninjured. After finishing in all the last 5 rallies, Uganda's Jas Mangat became the second casualty. After completing the first stage, he lost the boost from his turbo in his Mitsubishi, only to realize after retiring that one of the turbo pipes had come loose, which would have taken a few minutes to refit.
We were really looking forward to this rally. We had some good notes. Yeah, next rally is Pearl of Africa, Uganda, ARC. We're going to go represent our country and try to keep the win at home.
Laukkanen was the quickest in this second stage, the Machakos Mumandu test. He finished the 21-kilometer stage in 9 minutes and 3 seconds. Chasing the Subaru was the Mitsubishi of Chaga, who was second fastest, 29 seconds behind the leader. Chatty was third fastest in the stage, 2 seconds behind Chaga. Carl Tunde found that the suspension of the Evo 10 was not as strong as that of the Proton and hassled to finish 4th on the stage. Karan Patel was back to form after 2 disastrous outings in the Mitsubishi Evo 10 model. He powered himself to record the 5th fastest time on the stage. Appearing in the top 10 fastest time was Manvir Barian. He nudged his tiny Ford Fiesta and was 8th fastest in the stage, 1 minute behind his teammate Laukkanen. Steve Gasheru pushed his Subaru Impreza N10 to record the 9th fastest time. Quentin Mitchell was holding 8th position overall in his Skoda Fabia, but the car number 7 driver was uncomfortable with his role of being the first car on the road after encountering local traffic coming from the opposite direction. He was 11th fastest on the stage. Stage 3 was the flat-out 9-kilometer Katumani Marks Junction. A hat-trick stage win for Laukkanen was claimed at a fast and furious speed, which averaged 159 kilometers per hour. The Finnish driver emerged from the shortest stage of the rally with a time of 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Chasing hard was the Mitsubishi of Carl Flash Tundo, just 1 second behind the leader. However, Eric Bengi shocked the powerful Mitsubishis, Ford Fiestas, Skodas and Subarus by claiming a career 3rd fastest time in his Toyota Run X. It was the first time that a two-wheel drive car had clocked a top 3 time on a stage in the era of the new R class. He stormed his Toyota and was 2 seconds behind Tapio in the stage. So after the first 3 stages, it was extraordinary to even see Laukkanen at the front of the rally, given his Subaru was suffering with gearbox problems. He had extended his lead to 48 seconds. Tundo led the Mitsubishi Onslaught and inherited second place from Chaga. Chaga, Chatty and Duncan were left to fight for the final podium place, with Karan Patel waiting for any mishap at the front to gain position. Raji Barrage was keeping it neat and tidy. With his regular co-driver Jasnil Gature on a short sabbatical due to his marriage preparations, Raju Chaga was his delightful replacement. He was in 11th overall position. The Classic Car Cup class was hyped by an entry of a Porsche 911 of Tejveer Rai. It was his first time racing in this historic classic car.
It's good fun. We're still getting to learn the car a bit, and also it's going to be used in the Classic this year, so we're using the next 2 rounds as shakedown for the car, and then we'll stop before the last round, get it prepped for Classic and then do Classic in it.
Leading the class was the Datsun 160J of Melindy's Rob Hellier in 21st position, 90 seconds clear of 26th place Tejveer. Also making his debut in a classic car was Nish Lakhani. Driving a Datsun 1600, the former driver who used to rally a hybrid Range Rover in the SPV class was 3rd in this class with driver-cum-navigator Simon Sharp. The Porsche of the Khan brothers Aslam and Ashad struggled through the stages and was forced to retire with clutch failure. th placed Eric Bengi was in control of the two-wheel drive category. Luckily for him, his closest rival was the defending two-wheel drive champion Leonardo Veresi, who was 2nd in the class and in 29th overall position. Sami Nyori was struggling. The Toyota Runx was being driven without brakes and the rear shocks had gone too soft, with 2 more stages before major service. Nyori kept calm to hold on to 3rd place in this category and 31st placed overall. Alex Lairangi was 12 seconds behind Nyori, placing him 4th in this category. Gurmit Tethi was chasing the Toyotas in his VW Golf and was in 5th place in this category. Another VW Golf of Safraj Bui, navigated by Albert Kigen, was in contention and in 6th place in the two-wheel drive category. The top 3 drivers in the supplementary class were separated by just 13 seconds. Kisumu-based Chandrakant Devji was leading the class and was in 23rd position overall. James Kirimi was 7 seconds behind the leader and 25th overall. Hussein Malik's Mitsubishi Lancer was in 3rd position and 27th overall. At the bottom of the start list was a driver who was making his debut in the rally. McRae Kimathi, son of clerk of the course and former two-wheel drive champion Phineas Kimathi, had entered in the S-Class in the Subaru Impreza GC8. However, McRae, who's named after the 3-time Safari Rally champion the late Colin McRae, was forced to retire after a loose oil pipe drained all the oil from the engine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115
Another driver in his debut rally was Mombasa's Shirav Yusuf with navigator Azza Bhatti, who were in 40th position in their Mitsubishi Evo 10. The poorly supported SPV class was in the hands of the 32nd placed Toyota Lexus of Kirit Rajput. The longest stage of the rally through the Kipiti Plains was claimed by the defending champion Baldev Chagar. He averaged at a speed of 112 km per hour to emerge top with a time of 18 minutes and 52 seconds. This was his first ever stage win since February in Kisumu. Chate was second fastest, just 1 second slower than Chagar. Manvir Barian was a close 4 seconds behind the championship leader Chate. Carl Flash Tunda recorded the 4th fastest time. Quentin Mitchell's Skoda Fabio was making up for lost time in the other stages to record the 5th fastest time, 14 seconds behind Chagar. But where was the Subaru of Laukkanen? Laukkanen was in trouble. The gearbox problems got worse. However, 8th fastest at a nursing speed showed a clear picture of his mastery in rallying. Another big piece of news was that the Mitsubishi of Ian Duncan had disappeared from the top 10. The Kenyan legend lost control of his car and ended up collecting 2 punctures after hitting a culvert at breakneck speed. He emerged 19th fastest but had disappointingly dropped to 13th position in the overall standings. The 10-kilometer Katome-Kirima section brought about another challenge. The foggy weather surprised the leading drivers. Many drivers voiced their dismay as terrible conditions blighted the 5th stage and drivers could only see a maximum of 10 meters ahead. The fog was opaque from just ahead of the bonnet of the car. The Subaru Impreza of Steve Gashera snaked out of the smoggy and damp stage the fastest and was the surprise winner in this stage. 6 seconds behind him was car number 1 of Baldev Chagar. Another driver with his best career stage time was Fahaz Khan driving his Mitsubishi Evo 9. They were 3rd fastest, 12 seconds behind Gasheru. Laukkanen was cautious and was 4th fastest on his technical stage. So after the first half of the rally, Laukkanen now has a 29-second lead. Chagar is now in 2nd place behind Laukkanen, chasing his first rally victory this year. Tundo could not afford to blink or slip as championship leader Chate had joined him for that 3rd place on a tie. Youngster Karan Patel was keeping it close and in 5th position. Barrage and Steve Gashera were now in the top 10 in 6th and 10th position respectively. 39 cars headed to the much-deserved major service at the Machakos People's Park before starting the 2nd loop.
We've had all sorts of conditions. We've had a lot of fog in the last stage, but everything is going well for us. So we can't complain. Boys are just having a look at the car to make sure it's in order to do the second loop.
Well, yeah, KNRC, the strategy is just to keep it in the top 5, top 6 to get it to the end. That's the strategy. And same with ARC, we just left with Uganda and Madagascar, and yeah, let's see what happens in Uganda. If we have a good finish, will it be necessary to go to Madagascar or not? That will be decided after Pearl in Uganda.
He got a puncture in the first 6 kilometers, we drove on it, and then we bent the arm. So in the first stage we had a lot of issues, and we've just nursed the car all the way through the rest of the stages.
We made a few mistakes in the first one, so to avoid making those small mistakes and just to keep a good rhythm and push a bit harder.
An unfortunate retirement was the Ford Fiesta of Rajveer Rai. It had stopped with diff problems. Nikhil Sachania and Evans Kamal both retired after hitting a tree stump at the 5th stage.
No worry, reverse. Come on.
The Halais, Mahesh and Ketan dropped from 17th to 27th overall due to mechanical problems. The Subaru is getting old, but remarkably they have finished every rally this year despite the challenges. However, an S2000 is on the way. Which rally it will make its debut is still undisclosed. The second loop started at the Machakos People's Park, and as much as Tunda tried to get a clear run, he could not get the tie tag away. He won the stage in 7 minutes and 33 seconds. But breathing down his neck at the same average speed was Laukkanen with the same time. His Subaru was back to 100% after the gearbox was changed. Jassi Chate was third fastest, 4 seconds behind Laukkanen. Chaga finished the stage 4th fastest. He was 6 seconds slower than Laukkanen, who now had a 35-second lead from Chaga. Ian Duncan was making a comeback after a bad start to record the 5th fastest time. Laukkanen was on his own, setting another blistering time at a speed of 146 kilometers per hour and trimming 11 seconds from his first stage to increase his lead to 47 seconds. Chaga and Tunda were involved in a dramatic tussle, but it was Chaga who had the upper hand coming out of the stage. He had put a 16 seconds cushion over Tunda in the overall standings. Chate was still 12 seconds behind Tunda in 4th place and was more concerned with defending his championship lead than taking unnecessary risks for a podium spot. And 5th place Karung was too far behind to worry him. Alfia Khan had changed his pace notes to avoid a pothole on the road. Unfortunately, he hit the tightening spot and the car launched off the road, hitting a big tree and marking the end of his rally. Bengi was untouchable in the two-wheel drive class and still led Varese by over 80 seconds. Alex Lairangi had taken the last podium place from Nyori, with Tethi 4th in his VW. Tejveer went 28 seconds faster than Hellier to take over the classic car class lead for the first time. Morage was the new leader in the supplementary class after two of his rivals retired. The turbo on Devji's Subaru Impreza finally gave in. Hussein Malik's dismal season continued with a third consecutive retirement after the rear diff failed. However, Morage was not safe as Taiti Washira had now fixed the gearbox problem, which had hampered him from stage 1. He was 18 seconds behind the Subaru driver. Nadeem Khanna appeared in the top 3 for the first time, and the Subaru of Edward Miner of car number 61 was 4th place in this class. Laukkanen continued to set the pace, and raised eyebrows acknowledged his blistering speed. The Finn went so fast that his average speed of 163 km per hour through the stage was the fastest this season. Chagga was 3 seconds slower, and Tunda just a second behind Chagga. The overall lead was now 50 seconds, with 2 stages totaling 45 kilometers remaining. Chagga remained second, 17 seconds ahead of Tundo, while Chatu was a further 21 seconds behind. The rest of the top 10 remained the same. The fight for the Division 1 championship was heating up. Imran Mogul picked up his pace and had now climbed to 11th overall. Fahaz Khan was rushing for a top 10 finish and was 1 second behind Mogul. An engine oil leak had slowed the Mitsubishi Lancer of the Channa brothers. They were now in 13th place. Amanraj Rai, navigated by Kavit Dave, increased their pace and were now in 14th place. Division 3 leader Jansha Sandhu was now in 15th position overall. Dennis Mwendo recorded the 9th fastest time on this stage. However, he was in 29th overall position after he suffered a penalty for being 3 minutes late at the start of the stage. Stage 5 winner Kasheru retired after hitting a ditch which damaged the sump of his Subaru. Back after his incredible accident in Eldoret was the Malindi-based Italian Pietro Conobio. He regrettably retired when he noticed smoke billowing from the engine and didn't want to cause further damage to the car, only to realize later that it was oil dripping from the front diff and not the engine. So at the end of the stage, Laukkanen's cracking pace was such that he not only increased his overall lead to over 80 seconds, but he also trimmed a massive 49 seconds from Baldev Chagga's first loop time. And this was not to say that the pack at the back had slowed down. Tundo was second fastest. Chagga managed the 5th fastest time, 20 seconds faster than his first loop time. Eighth fastest Karan Patel had also gone under the 18 minutes 52 seconds set by Chagga on the first loop. Staying on the road, especially on the last stage, was not an easy task. The misty weather conditions dampened the surface. Changing the grip without warning. So when Anwar Rai and Quentin Mitchell checked in at the last control, the body damage on the left side of their cars was just one of the many damages testament to the foggy weather. Tapio admitted he had throttled back. His 7th stage win and his 21st of the season was enough to give him and his co-driver Pasi Torma their 3rd win of the season. It was Subaru's first win in the event since 2008.
Everything went quite well. We had a bit of a gearbox issue, but apart from that, it was fine. Our service changed it on time, so no problem at all. Basically, the driving was quite good all the time. No any big mistakes, and I really enjoyed the drive today.
Going into the penultimate stage, Chaga was 2 seconds ahead of Tundo, and it was a tight race for 2nd place. Unfortunately, Chaga overshot a tight corner in the thick fog. His 2-second advantage turned into a 9 seconds deficit. And having run out of competitive mileage, he sadly lost his 2nd place to Tundo. Tundo and Tim Jessop's record of winning the RSC edition for a 4th consecutive year and 6 in total was put on hold by Laukkanen, ultimately finishing 2nd and refusing to accept defeat right to the bitter end. This was Tundo at his fabulous best, urging the Evo 10 Lancer even faster in his chase for a win. Chaga and Sony had to settle for a disappointing 3rd, just 9 seconds behind Tundo. This was also Chaga's 6th podium finish in the last 10 years. It was the 5th time that he's finished 3rd and has only failed to finish in 2007 and 2004. Just like he did last year, Chatter again finished in 4th place and consolidated his championship lead with a smooth and tactical drive. He needs a top 8 position in the next event to be crowned the champion of Kenya. Co-driver Gugu Panasar's nervous laughter confirming that the championship is very close. Karan Patel's never say die attitude notched up his first ever top 10 result since he acquired the powerful Evo 10 Lancer model. His 5th place was an inspiring result inside the top 5 since his 4th place in the KCB Guru Nanak Rally in 2014. Manveer Barrian and Drew Sturrock has scored in every round of the series so far, and his 6th place in the 4th Fiesta was a great performance from Laukkanen's teammate. The 2 punctures on stage 4 cost Ian Duncan and Anwar Slatch a podium finish, but they were happy to be in the top 10 in the Mitsubishi. Fahaz Khan scored his best result of the season in 11th place, keeping Aman Raj Rai just 9 seconds away. 32 cars finished the rally, making every result a victory. Kirit Rajput finally brought the powerful Lexus to its first finish, winning the SPV class and in 21st position overall.
Oh, it feels excellent. That's exactly what we wanted. I wanted to just bring it back. That's the only way you can get better, by getting rally miles under your belt. So hopefully we can keep on doing that and get better results every time and climb up the ladder.
Natasha Tundo and Chantal Young are on a remarkable 3rd consecutive rally finish, the only all-female crew to finish, and were in 29th position.
It feels really good because the first loop I had a few problems. I bent my rear arm, so we were driving sideways down the road. But then, yeah, 2nd time round, awesome fun.
Considering quite a few people have already gone out, and the first round we saw people were falling out, so it's awesome to get to the finish.
Adil Mirza, the younger brother of Isa Mirza, finished in 31st position on his debut rally.
All in all, it was a very good day. Nice experience, learnt a lot. Hopefully see you for the next one. Be here and be stronger.
So Chate leads the championship table with 128.5 points, followed by Tapio Laukkanen and Baldev Chaga. Ian Duncan has moved down from 2nd to 4th position. In the hotly contested Division 1 Championship, Amanraj Rai is the new leader with 82.5 points, closely followed by Jasmeet Chana, while former leader Mahesh Halai is now in 3rd position. In Division 2, Dennis Wenda has increased his lead by 18 points. Asir Khan, who was unable to contest in this rally, is still in 2nd position. Jansha Sandhu still leads the Division 3 Championship. In the Classic Cup car class, Tejveer Rai and Sahir Shah became the 4th different crew to win this class this season. The pair finished in 16th position in their first ever drive in a Porsche 911. Melindy's Rob Hellier and Douglas Rundgren are now joint leaders in the championship. Their 2nd place in the Datsun 160J has put them on 46 points, tied with the absent defending champion Jonathan Soman. 3rd in the class was the Datsun 1600 of Nish Lakhani and rally car preparation expert Simon Sharp. In the 2-wheel drive class, 18th placed Eric Bengi bagged his 4th win of the season, increasing his lead in the series by 8.5 points from 2nd placed Leonardo Varese and Kigo Karethi, who finished 39 seconds behind in the Toyota Corolla. The top 3 was rounded out by Sami Nyori and Edward Njoroge. The Toyota Runx finished in 23rd position and are also 12 points behind Bengi in the championship fight. Lairangi has also got a mathematical chance of winning the hotly contested championship. The early signs were that the supplementary class would be unpredictable. The surprise victory went to Taiti Washira, who took over the lead on stage 9 after Murage decided to slow down and shield his championship tally. Taiti, who was hampered by a gearbox oil leak for most of the rally, pushed the Mitsubishi to record a first S-Class win after Subarus had dominated the last 5 rounds. This was Washira's 2nd appearance of the season since the KCB Safari Rally.
Where we could, we pushed it. Yeah? Where we couldn't, I took it easy. It was that simple.
But the 1-2 finish for Washira and Murage overshadowed a small history which was created by their respective navigators, Joan Lombard and Tuta Mionki. It was the first time in the history of Kenya motorsport that female navigators had claimed the first 2 podiums in any given class. But Joan was the daring of the 2. She chose the fastest rally to make her rallying debut, and by the end of the event she had guided Washira to that special class victory.
It was my first rally as an actual navigator, and it was quite interesting. It was a bit long for 5 stages before you get service, but it was actually quite interesting.
Murage finds himself 17 points clear of the disappointed Kirimi in the championship, with Chandarakant Devji on 79, while 24th placed and 3rd in the class Nadeem Khana is on 60 points. So after a grueling race, the KCB Machakos Rally did not disappoint. The action, suspense and surprises made great entertainment for all rally enthusiasts, and all this was made possible through the generous sponsorship from KCB, who continue to support the Kenya National Rally Championship, thus contributing to the growth and development of motorsport in Kenya. The next round of the KCB Kenya National Rally Championship will be organised around Nakuru County by the Rift Valley Sports Club in September. Chate heads to the Rift Valley event needing just 5 points or a top 8 finish to be crowned champion of Kenya. Tapio Laukkanen trails him by 45.5 points with a maximum 50 available in the last 2 events. Let's see how the championship unfolds in Nakuru. See you there!